What's up, y'all? It's Fitz with Fitz Uncensored. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about how to stay mentally strong when you're going through tough times in your life. This conversation was brought about because I've recently had some people ask me, how are you so strong? Like, how are you so mentally strong when things aren't going your way, or when life happens, when something bad happens? How are you so strong? How do you stay positive? How do you keep moving forward? And I don't put much thought into this regularly because I'm in execution mode and I'm constantly just trying to find ways to improve. But I did some thinking and I wanted to share that with you. Wanted to share that with y'all. But before we get into it, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Check out the information in the description if you are somebody going through life and you want to create a plan, you want someone to hold you accountable. Go book a personal development coaching session with me. Information is in the description. Also, it'll be pinned to the top of the chat. All right, let's get into it. So, two things that came to mind when I thought about how I stay so mentally strong even in the face of adversity or tough times. The first one is authenticity, being authentic. See, what tends to happen when you're not authentic is you constantly have this mask on. Whether you're at your job, whether you're with your family, your wife, your husband, you constantly have this mask on. And because you have this mask on and you're living kind of an alternative life, it takes up so much energy. It takes up so much energy and mental energy that when something happens and you don't have the energy to keep that facade up, to keep that mask on, you're no longer able to keep it together. You're no longer able to sustain those relationships. You're no longer able to kind of handle the load that you were handling because you don't have the energy to keep those facades in place. It's time and energy draining. But when you're authentic, you don't have to sit there and doubt yourself every single time you say something. You don't have to put on this alternative ego or alternative personality or whatever when you're around other people, when you're at the job, when you're around your partner. You don't have to spend time doing that. And so because of that, you get used to being comfortable with yourself. You get used to loving yourself. And when you get used to loving yourself, you're able to then be authentic more and more and more. And so it doesn't bother you as much if you're having a bad day or if you're going through something and, you're not at 100% or whatever. It doesn't bother you as much because you're still able to love yourself and be authentically you without the stress of worrying about what other people think. Without the stress of worrying about what other people think. So for example, recently my brother had passed away. This happened about 3 weeks ago tomorrow. My brother passed away. I was at lunch when I got the phone call. Hey, brother passed away. And I was sad. I was heartbroken. And I remember on my lunch break, about 15 minutes before my lunch break, I began to cry. I was sad. I began to cry. All right. My lunch break was coming to an end. I went back to the office. My lunch break, went back to the office, went in my office and continued my day. Sad. I had about 2-3 hours left. Sad, just sitting there. And I was able to do that. I may not have been 100%, but I was able to do that because I understand on a fundamental level that, okay, I'm sad, but if someone sees me crying in this office or if someone does this, I'm comfortable enough with myself to know that, I'm good. I'm good. I didn't have to put up this facade that nothing was wrong. People were telling me, just take the rest of the day off. Not at work, but like people I know, just take the rest of the day off. Don't finish out the day. Go home, process it. But for me, that probably would have made it worse because I would have had all this idle time to just sit and ruminate on it. But I say all that to say, not that, if something happens to one of your family members, of course, and you go back to work, that means, or that you don't go back to work, that means that you're weak. But I'm bringing that up to say in life, if you're able to compartmentalize things and you're able to weather the initial storm and grieve on your own time or find peace on your own time, it will make your life a lot easier. And that only happens, in my opinion, through authenticity and being able to love yourself and being able to understand that life happens and there's nothing wrong with you. All right, next. So we have authenticity. And second, we have a commitment to high standards. A commitment to high standards. When you have a commitment to high standards, that's not like a New Year's resolution. That's not like, your little vision board that you create. A commitment to high standards is everything you do, you are committed to high standards. It means that from the smallest to the largest things, you are committed to high standards. And when you're committed to high standards, it allows you to realign yourself when you get off track. It allows you to realign yourself when you get off track. So no matter what happens to me, if I veer too far to the left because I'm sad, or I veer too far to the left because I'm in my emotions, or I veer too far to the left because, the money's down or whatever, then I always know where I'm supposed to be. I always know where I'm supposed to be. And when you know where you're supposed to be, and where you're supposed to be is aligned with high standards, it makes it so much easier for you to get back on track. But if you have to figure out where you're supposed to be while you're going through the storm, man, that's tough. Trying to figure out where you're supposed to be and who you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing while you're going through the storm is tough. So if you already know what your standards are and you're already committed to them and you're living day by day up to those standards, or at least trying to, then when you're going through the storm, okay, I'm supposed to head north. That's where I'm supposed to be. I'm in a storm now, but I know where to go. And so when you have high standards, you'll always know where to go and you'll always know where to aim. But if you decide to try to get high standards when you're going through the stuff, you're gonna probably find yourself more lost, because typically high standards requires failure over time. It requires you to lose. It requires you to feel down and process it. It requires you to lose money, or to lose time, or to lose friends and lose family. It requires you to look like a fool and to look stupid and look incompetent at times. It requires struggle. And the worst thing that you want to do is try to align yourself with struggle while you're already feeling down, because you're not going to be used to it. You're not going to be used to it. And so with that being said, I hope that adds some value, key takeaways to staying strong even in the face of adversity, authenticity, and commitment to high standards. Let me know what y'all think in the comments section. Let me know what y'all do to stay, I'll say, mentally healthy during times of adversity. Also tap in to the personal development coaching. Information is in the description. If you are ready to make a change and you're ready to really put together an action plan and have some accountability, you can book an initial session with me, and then after that we can decide where we want to go. But make sure you tap into that. Information is in the description, and I'll see y'all next time.